If you're ever wondering why we can never have nice things, well, you can thank these two groups of people, conformists and simps. You know your credibility is shot when you value reviews.
Reviews for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl seem fairly solid. Great games, not amazing, didn't expand too much from the OGs, not bad at all.
That reminds me of the idiots out there that put value into reviews only if they say what they want to hear, but then they'll turn tail and say they're the
worst reviews ever
if they don't. But get this, because people are still hung up on the reason behind the disdain for the forced experience share.
That bodes well.
This doesn't even scratch the surface. How does it bode well exactly? So the next thing he does is effectively dismiss the criticisms arguing against the forced experience share by taking their word for it and, get this, grasping at straws. We have someone correcting Joe Corrections gatekeeper etc. Merrick. Maybe actually read some of the reviews. That's right, because Game Informer must have been one of those reviews he turned a blind eye to support his
fairly solid
narrative, because that was one of their biggest criticisms. As a result, my teams felt overleveled as the game progressed, making big matches against Team Galactic or any of the gym leaders feel easy and insignificant. In other words, more free trophies for all of the kids out there struggling to conquer a child's video game as brain dead as Pokemon has always been. So yeah, once again, the forced experience share is one of their biggest criticisms. Overleveling is very easy, just like it was in Sword and Shield and Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, because every single Pokemon in the party, whether they do anything or not, gets to run a free victory lap. But I guess that bodes well anyway. But even dimmer than that are zero IQ responses like this defending the forced experience share. Look at this familiar sight where Omori dimly argues to try and justify dictatorship. It's more intuitive for them to take away your ability to play the game the way you want to by creating a problem in place of that solution where you have to mitigate, work around that player's choice you had, which is the experience share toggle they took away, and this simp eats it up like a snack.
The same thing can be achieved by limiting the party, just like they said. Man, I can't think for myself.
And here's the extra fluff of wool they decided to throw in.
It's an incentive for people to train more than 6 Pokemon.
You mean they couldn't do that before when they were able to turn the experience share off? So this woolly thing is praising the dictatorship and problem that their daddy son Masuda and daddy son Omori put in place of the player's choice and a fucking toggle. Working around an unnecessary problem is better than the solution they took away. That says everything you need to know about Pokemon fanboys in a nutshell. I mean, there's never any room for any criticism, because the mentality, as shitty and sheepy as it is to go along with the program.
Hey guys, it's alright. It's Pokemon. It will always fail no matter what.
But isn't that the problem? That's the thing about simps. There are 3 S's and character traits of a simp. They're simple-minded, substandard, and subservient. I honestly don't know how these corporations mount their lapdogs, because they're clearly lacking a vertebrae. Because it's Pokemon and everything gets patched up doesn't mean it's okay if you want to put it that way. True Pokemon fans, no, even better than that, people who truly love something want the best for it and will advocate for that. Bitches have no use for anyone other than to be a plaything for the thing that they're prostituting for. You're not a hero, and they don't give a fuck about you either. Look at your lint-filled pockets. Until mommy gives you all enough allowance to mindlessly throw at this mediocrity, this bare minimum that you choose to settle for, you're just as useless. Pokemon was never a difficult franchise, so when people criticize more stupid hand-holding elements that were never needed in the first place, just to simply give the player back their choice to play the game the way they want to, you get criminalized for that. But leave it to smooth brains like this to deliberately miss the point entirely because you're criticizing their sacred cow. That also reminds me of the argument experience. No, the narrative of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl having the
hardest post-game ever in a Pokemon game.
Suddenly Pokemon's hard now, ladies and gents, because people will adopt and discard whatever narratives fit the occasion. Yes, Cynthia having the highest level Pokemon in any Pokemon game apparently is going to make the post-game of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl the hardest ever. They have competitive EV spreads, held items, move sets. Holy shit. Game Freak suddenly and finally respects the intelligence of the fans, veterans, newcomers, children, etc. alike. Except that you're forgetting two major things that completely make this narrative a null and void thing. The forced experience share. Your party is still going to be overleveled, and don't you guys remember? Follow Pokemon. Let's take a closer look at that one. Well, unlike before, while this is the place you visit to unlock the Follow Pokemon feature, Game Freak decided that it shouldn't just be a simple feature like before, at least in Pokemon Yellow, the original Diamond and Pearl, with these Pokemon at that. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and ultimately Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I think you can understand why I didn't mention Pokemon Following You in Sword and Shield's DLC. What they decided to do this time was not only attach affection to the returning Follow Pokemon feature, but they decided to implement everything I loathe about this. And it's even worse now because it's also forced on you if you unlock the Follow Pokemon feature. It's a packaged deal. Here's the short version. When you get an affection level of 2 or higher, you've already broken the game. And all you did was play with a bunch of 3D models. You didn't actually achieve anything. But hey, that's what it's all about these days. Let's make the already coddled and naive children even more spoiled by handing them even more free trophies. They don't have to achieve anything. That's what life's all about. All of those games that require things like brain cells, skill, etc. Man, they're way too overrated. At level 2, you get 1.2 times the normal experience from battles, on top of the forced experience share for everyone. At level 3, your Pokemon will just magically endure attacks that they'd otherwise faint from. In other words, it's a continuous focus sash, and the Pokemon doesn't even need to have full health. Just look at all of this broken shit. That scales to the player's advantage the higher the level of affection. What the fuck is the point of even picking up these games, let alone managing a thought in your head to take on a single challenge? Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl will truly be the hardest Pokemon games ever with this so-called high IQ post-game content. And to close out the video, you have triggered simps like this that don't see how unironic it is to be a gatekeeper. Digital here thinks that it's immature to provide feedback. It's better to bend over to everything. They're butthurt because I criticized their sacred cow, but Courage is even better. Courage is telling me that if I love something so much but hate the direction it's going, I should shut up altogether. They don't realize how inspired and defiant this only makes me, while further proving how much of a corporate asswipe he truly is.
No matter what, the Pokemon will sell, and I will love the series no matter what.
Thank you, Courage, for the complete autobiography of any and all conformists and simps. I'm not sorry to say it, children, but your sacred cow has serious issues. Patches don't make the problems go away. Yeah, sure, Cyberpunk got a Game of the Year nomination even though the game didn't win, but just like that game, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out of the oven way too early if the game devs bothered to fucking turn that oven on in the first place. And that part where they had the audacity to nominate a troubled technical mess like Cyberpunk just says it all about this simp flock. They're the type of people that would nominate Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl in the same vein.
There's no problems. Everything's been patched up.
But you can't access basic features, functionality, etc. in these games without a day one patch. And without patches in general. The games are so bad that they have to pre-patch the digital versions of these games to save face. Despite game development, how do you not, after X or XX amount of years of game development, design a startup screen as one of the first things to function in the game. This is what we advocate against because it makes no fucking sense after however long the game development ran for these games. They still play no better and are as featureless as betas, let alone tech demos. But it's okay because it's Pokemon, right? It's okay because it's a franchise that effortlessly prints money, right? Well, instead of people like you trying to run to the source you know is going to piss your dumbasses off, why don't you line up and firmly plant yourselves into every bathroom in Game Freak's headquarters and just open your mouths wide for the rest of your sheepy lives, no matter how many of the employees use you like the human toilets you only know how to be for them. No, we're not out of line if we won't lap up any and everything these multi-million and multi-billion dollar corporations behind the same franchise throws at our faces. You can't comprehend it, but this franchise is the highest grossing franchise for a reason. Why can't it do better than this? Why can't it be criticized? Why can't people like me want better for it? But remember, simps, you're the only brainlets that are threatened by the very same terrifying force that you are stupid enough to indulge in, knowing what they're going to say about your sacred cow, because deep down, that's the reality you're struggling to turn a blind eye to, which is exactly why you're perceiving any and all sound criticism as some kind of personal attack. But yeah, you're right. Anything us critics do is meaningless, just like all of your blind prostitution, because at the end of the day, they only care about all of the money that's mindlessly printed for their products. I'll leave it to you to keep proving why Pokemon will always be the bare minimum franchise.